Hello everyone and welcome to the project AWS Frontier. I am Shadman Noor and I will be presenting this introductory video. Our product owner and instructor is Dr. Masood Sajjadi and our team members include Saul Castillo, our team leader, George Marrero, and myself, Shadman Noor. In this video, I'll be talking about our project AWS Frontier, which is a monitoring panel hosted by Nextcloud, which shows active AWS resources using API calls. Amazon Web Services (AWS) provides a wide variety of resources, and sometimes going through those resources and keeping track of them can be a bit overwhelming. It is important to keep track of all the said resources because it can result in increased unnecessary cost. Our main goal as the AWS Frontier team was to build a centralized platform to hold all the different AWS resources in one place. The centralized platform for the monitoring panel we chose was Nextcloud, and it was also required. Our main concerns was the security of AWS users for their data being leaked or exposed. To overcome this obstacle, we built our program from the ground up, ensuring there would be no gaps in security. Our secondary goal was to keep the interface as simple as possible without any bloatware. To tackle this problem, the AWS Frontier team developed an AWS monitoring panel using Nextcloud as a host. This panel shows all the active ACI resources for the AWS user in one place. We wanted to make sure security was tight. The panel ensures the user's security by requiring an access key and secret access key provided by AWS. For our second objective, we wanted to keep the interface as clean as possible. Here is an example of two of the resources shown. These are the IAM roles and the class explorer. These resources are contained in their own containers and shown in a grid system for easier visibility. Users can use the access key and the secret access key given to them by the AWS accounts to successfully view all their resources in one place, and these keys are secured and encrypted using AES, IV, and CVC. Here is a completed view of the monitoring panel hosted by Nextcloud. It contains all the resources, currently active resources from AWS. Here is where you input the access keys, and here are the resources. We chose a dark color scheme for clearer visibility. We wanted to make this as clean as possible so that there wasn't any cluttering. Here are a list of resources that were used for this project. We used Amazon Web Services for the resources, the Nextcloud for the monitoring panel, GitHub, Docker, Visual Studio Code for editing our code, and Ubuntu. Programming languages used were HTML, JavaScript, PHP, and CSS. Here are the architectural patterns for our project. The front end handles the HTML structure, JavaScript links, and CSS styling, and the back end handles the Axios for API calls, crypto for encryption. Here are all the AWS resources and the Nextcloud, which is hosted on Docker container. The design patterns for the monitoring application is fairly simple. With the same things as the front end, the HTML and CSS presentation, the back end, which handles the logic, business logic. Here we have the AWS services. Now a brief summary of the project development. Our work was split in 7 different sprint cycles. For sprint 1, we reviewed the documents related to the project. We wanted to develop an understanding of the project since we didn't know much about it going into it, and we had to plan our approach going forward. For sprint 2, we created our AWS accounts and our Nextcloud accounts for testing purposes, and we wanted to focus on getting the developing environment ready for next sprint. For sprint 3, we finished setting up the development environment and successfully launched an EC2 instance on AWS, and we wanted to work on integrating AWS API with Nextcloud. After the successful integration of EC2 instance for sprint 4, we wanted to add several more AWS resources to be shown on our monitoring panel. So we focused on integrating more AWS resources. We added an API key fields for the application for security. For sprint 5, we improved the interface for Nextcloud. We implemented said additional resources to be shown on the monitoring panel, and we improved the front-end interface. Sprint 6 was mostly focused on the front end. We focused on modernizing and enhancing our interface, making it more user-friendly, improve the design. We went with a darker color scheme. We focused on file containers with a grid layout, added a few more functional upgrades, and improved the UI. And in sprint 7, we finished all the improvements when we started working on the documents, finalized the logos and the title of our application, created demo videos and presentation slides like this one, and installation guides. The AWS Frontier team developed an AWS monitoring panel which is hosted by Nextcloud, which shows active AWS resources. The monitoring panel ensures the user's safety by using access keys and secret access keys. Extensive research was done by the team to build the application from scratch and have the compatibility of our code to seamlessly integrate with the Nextcloud framework. It was a great learning experience for me and my whole team while working on the project, and with the guidance of Dr. Masood Sajjadi, we were able to accomplish our goals. With the groundwork our team have laid for the project, there are plenty of opportunities for future development. If you have any questions, please, here is a contact number of our product owner, Dr. Masood Sajjadi. Thank you for watching this video.